Hi there, welcome to another edition of BusttheNet. My name is Rashidi, and today we're going to take a look at the 4141 and the different variations that you can employ. But before I begin, a major shout out to two readers on addicted2fm.com, my blog. They are Hunter and Laxo, without whom this show would not have been possible in the way it has been done. I had originally just wanted to look at a 4141, create a counter-attacking and then an attacking system. Then Hunter came along and asked me a question on the blog. Would it be possible to compare Raumdeuter with an inside forward? Well, I started working on one. And then Laxo comes up and asks me whether or not, I could take a look at the 4141. While working on the Raumdeuter inside forward article, which you can find on my blog, I started thinking whether it's possible to use a Raumdeuter kind of role in midfield. And as I messed around, I discovered something that you can. In fact, you can make the 4141 really dynamic. So thank you very much, Hunter. Thank you very much, Laxo. Had it not been for the two of you, this show would not have been possible in its current form. And another major shout out going to a good friend of mine from the Training and Tactics Forum. He's also a moderator there. His name is Cleon. He's got a website called SI Sports Center, which has got fantastic articles on player roles as well as training. He is one of the very few people in the world that I collaborate with when it comes to tactics. We've been working together for the last 10 years, I think. His fantastic insight. We both love the game and we have enjoyed our time with the game. So if you have any questions, you can always look for him on the forums or drop him a note at SI Sports Center. Remember one thing, all the tactics out there, they all need the right players. So you need to spend a fair bit of time on that before you jump into any downloaded tactic. Time to look at the 4141. I'm going to show you how I create one tactic and am able to just change the mentality so that it can be either a control system, an attacking system, or a counter system. The 4141 looks defensive because, simply put, there aren't a lot of strikers in the penalty box. So what you need to do is you need to get players up and supporting that lone striker. We will do this by getting the F-line to drop deep and get the two outside midfielders to sit narrow and cut inside. Play very much like a defensive Raumdeuter, if that makes any sense. Key here is balancing the two central midfielders so that you end up playing with a defensively looking forward 2-1. Team instructions will be simple. We'll play narrow even though the two side midfielders are sitting narrow. We just want to see how far the fullbacks come up. I will consider playing wide as well because the 4141 has width and I can use the fullbacks to add the width because the side midfielders in the MR and ML slots are going to be cutting inside and playing narrow. I have a rough idea in my head that I want Raumdeuter-like players on the ML and MR slots. They're going to cut inside, sit narrow, allowing the fullbacks to work the width of the pitch. The key here is going to be the center of the midfield where I need one of them to actually be in a support role, dribbling more just like it did in the 4-1-2-1 up the midfield. Because the F9 is dropping down, there can be some linkage between the two. F9 is going to drop to the sides too, allowing the ML and the MR to work diagonally towards the penalty box. First game, I'm not expecting a lot. We missed the penalty in the last game. I'm making sure that I got the right guy taking it this time. I'm just going to watch how it performs. I'll tweak it for the next match, but this is roughly how I want them to play. Atletico on a pretty decent run. We're playing Malaga away in this next game. We've won 3 on the trot using the 4-1-2-1 or the 4-3-3. This is an excellent time for us to try this out before we use it against Juventus. Crap, a Hail Mary 4-2-3-1. We're gonna have to watch as we attack because there's always gonna be 4 guys parked in our half. Good to see Mandzukic is out wide from a set piece. Raul Garcia, who's the MR, is gonna cut inside. Koke's in the box, brilliant. That's what I wanted to see from our ML, MR, being typical scorers as well. Mr. Sitter. So on my list of checks, that's check 1. Okay, ML, MR will work inside the box and take shots at goal. So I'm now going to start looking at other things. At this point, winning is important, but not as important as making sure that elements of my system are working as I had envisioned. Koke is doing a diagonal heading towards the box. Halftime, while the movement is great, we haven't made a lot of chances. I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to start playing wider and look for overlap so that I get more wing play going. Working the flanks a lot better now. We managed to get a throw in, and then this happens. Mandzukic gets brought down in the box. '82nd minute. I'm glad to see the shot worked. We're getting more flank play and we get another goal. Definitely I'll have to start looking at making a few more changes for the match against Juventus. I'm glad to see that the shots worked in the second half. We more than doubled our shots. We will make one or two more changes to this 4-1-4-1 for the next game. Time to smash the AI into submission. So I'm gonna start making some changes to the PIs of some of the players. This guy's my Raumdeuter midfielder, so I'm gonna get him to play more direct. The whole goal is now to make some of the forward players pass the ball a bit more quickly in the final third. I'm not going to adjust Jimenez. On the other hand, I might change him. Dribble more for Saul because I need to carry the ball a bit closer to the F9. Gabi, I'm going to leave him alone. Okay, yeah, he has the attributes. Okay, he can play the position. I'm going to swap Raul Jimenez and Mario Mandzukic around, because Mario Mandzukic has the strength to hold up the ball and distribute. He may not have good passing. If he had good passing, he'd definitely have the PI for direct passing. UA are playing a defensive 5-3-2, so I need to watch the flanks closely. Start of the game, I see something unexpected. Koke is dribbling the ball. He's definitely doing some direct running, which is good to see. All my left backs are too exhausted to play, so I'm forced to use a defender as a fullback on the left flank. Fairly quiet opening 30 minutes. I'm actually just monitoring to see that my system is playing well. I'm not going to switch it to attacking just yet. I want to see how they do. I love the way Miranda clears the ball. There's nice interchange of passing between the F9 and the ML, who is now cutting side. The movement that I'm seeing is exactly what I was hoping to get. There's a lot of nice one-touch passing going around near their box. Miranda has gone to the flanks. I hope he does okay. And yes, Mandzukic does really well as an F9, finding Gabi inside the box. It's a really good start to the game. The whole goal of my system was to make sure that the F9 drops back into space, creating channels for the others to run into and to set up an overload situation in and around the box. Halftime now, we've done well to take the lead. We have had more shots on goal. I do expect some changes from Juventus when they start the second half, so I will be watching how far back my players need to track, and if I need to, I will change my mentality. First things first, let's pop their formation widget. Okay, they're dropping balls behind my defensive line. When I look at my defenders having to track back like this, immediately my thought is, are my defenders good enough for me not to drop down the counter? If they are, then I'll stay on control or attacking, because I know my defenders will always get to the ball first. Atletico are a bit more slower, so I need to make certain changes so the TIs get changed as well. When I play counter, I prefer to not use the offside trap, get stuck in, and in this particular case, because I'm using a 4-4-1-1 which has got fullbacks and support, I do still want them to have some threat on the flank, so I'm going to still play wider. And because I've already set PIs for some of the players to play direct, I don't really need to do anything more. This is all I need to do to make us go counter. And if I need to go attacking, then all I do is change the shouts around again and not bother about PIs anymore. Easy can be easy. So you can see from the shouts I'm using, the fullbacks are still in their wide positions, still a threat. He finds the first midfielder Raumdeuter in order to run, who plays it to Mandzukic, who lays it to the other midfielder Raumdeuter, Koke, who easily slots in our second goal. We are clearly dominant now in the second half, moving up the ball quickly around the opponent's third. A confident swagger from Atletico Madrid, who are using the 4-1-4-1 now for the second time this season. I will give this system one more shot in the next game using a purely attacking version. So here we are attacking, facing a 4-2-3-1. I had to watch the flanks in this game, but it wasn't too much of a problem. We scored 3 relatively easy goals. There were good passages where we passed the ball really well. We didn't waste possession, which is the case in some 4-1-4-1s. Remember that the goal of this formation was to create threat from the flanks, and seeing the ML and MR cut inside to lend support so that we get the F9 having players on his left and his right that he can turn to lay off the ball and come in late to score goals. I really like the way the side is able to hold possession of the ball and overload the opponent's half. The one thing you have to keep a lookout for when you're playing a 4-1-4-1 is the kind of players that you have in the team. You need ball winners as well. You just can't have a lot of talented Cristiano Ronaldos running up and down the pitch. You definitely will have to have a few good ball winners in your side. There is a concern that I have where the ML, who's Arda to run, is actually quite close to the attacking midfielder just beside him. They tend to run into the same spots, as you can see. There are PPMs that you can use to affect the way they move when they do have the ball and they are attacking. Well, there you have it, the cat's out of the bag. That's how I use one tactic. And if I need to make changes, I just play it differently via the team instructions. I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you have, please subscribe. If you have any questions, you can sound me out on Twitter, or you can find me on my blog. See you soon. Bye bye.